His little dog looks at us and poops right on the floor.
And I'm standing in the dining room, living room area, and I see a body chalk mark on the floor.
And I walk through and I see in the restroom the toilet is filled with...
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of That Is Awkward. And I'm excited today because we are traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast today with our guest. Yeah! So we were just having a little bit of a conversation offline that the weather there is actually very similar to ours right now. You guys had your first day of sunshine, and we're still looking for it. But before we get started, Amy, tell everybody who you are, a little bit about yourself, kind of the areas that you service, and anything you wanted to share about your real estate.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Carroll. I'm one half of the A team here in the Sunshine State. I work with my husband, Adam, and we're with Coldwell Banker Realty. And we are primarily in the Pinellas County area, so that would be Clearwater and St. Pete, although we also will drive over the bridge into Tampa and work in some parts of Tampa as well.
Okay, oh, very good. And things have been well. Been following your career and everything in real estate wise, and you guys are doing pretty well and actually doing really well, and things are going good. You guys are happy with all of that?
Yeah. Adam was a lender beforehand, so it was an easy transition for him. I was a communications professor, so that's why I do most of the marketing for us, and Adam does all the transaction stuff because I always say he's the numbers guy, I'm the word nerd. So
there we go. I love it. Let's talk about why we're really here and the most awkward moment. So this is going to be the craziest moment, something that was silly, crazy, awkward that occurred to you in your real estate career.
I'm going to add a new adjective to that and say this is one of the most disgusting moments that I've had in my real estate career.
All right.
I don't even know if I want to share this with everyone. I feel like shaking hands with people in the future could could be a little bit different. But so this was our second full year in the business as agents. And we had a pretty good first year. So in our first year, we had sold 10 condos in this one particular association. So this was our 11th sale in this condo. So this wasn't our first rodeo, but the transaction had been going completely running smoothly up until this point. And 3 weeks prior to closing, there had been some repairs that came up on the inspection report, and lesson learned, which I can get into that later, but we agreed to do the repairs. We probably should have offered to give the credit at that point in time, but we said we would do the repairs, simple things like tightening a toilet, replacing a washer and a sink, stuff like that. And we had given a list of vendors to the owner. Now the owner had left because she was starting a new job in Kentucky, and she left her boyfriend behind. He was the one that was going to tighten the toilet, pack up everything, wrangle the 3 cats, clean the condo, and leave. And so on the other side of the deal was an agent who didn't work too much, but was doing a favor for friends of the family for their kids. And she wanted to do the final walkthrough the morning of closing, and we had advised it's probably better to do that beforehand. We don't like to leave the walkthroughs until an hour before closing, but this is the way that they wanted to do it. So Adam and I luckily show up about a half hour or so before the buyer's going to be there for the final walkthrough, because we had been in contact with the owner's boyfriend, and don't worry, everything's going along fine, everything's moving, but we just had this feeling, this bad feeling. So we get there the morning of the walkthrough, and the place, it was packed up, but it was a mess. It was disgusting. He was just finishing up the last minute repair that he needed to do, still needed to wrangle the cats, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, we can't have them come in and see the house like this. This isn't just messy, this is disgusting. And so I find myself cleaning the house, which I'm fine with, because actually when I was in grad school I had my own cleaning business. That's how I put myself through grad school. So I love to clean when I have the proper equipment. And that day, not that this was the most awkward thing I ever did, but I had to clean the toilet without cleaning gloves.
Oh, boy.
And I found myself,
You're a brave soul.
I was like, why did you leave your other job? You would never have had to do this in your other job. Why didn't you come yesterday to check on that? You know, it was just all these thoughts going through my head. And I always like to think, like, what is the lesson in it? You know, when I find myself thinking,
Right.
like, why is this happening? Instead of spiraling, I always try to think, like, what is the lesson here so that we don't have to go through this again? So needless to say, we try to check in 24 hours ahead of time, go to the property to look to make sure everything's okay. We try not to schedule the final walkthroughs, you know, backing up right to that closing. So a lot of lessons learned, but that was definitely a moment in my career where I thought, you know, I would never have had to do this in my other job. Why did I ever agree to do this? What am I doing here? So,
Yeah, that's we get paid the big bucks, right?
yeah.
So people think.
Yeah.
So, question. It might sound like a silly question, but people that don't know me, I'm a little bit of a germphobe.
Oh, so is Adam. That's
okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take before you even picked up a finger food? So, yeah, so I'm thinking I'm like 100 washes of hand. I'm like washing my hands at least 100 times before
Oh, yeah.
before I can even come close to that.
Well, as I had said in my, when I did have the house cleaning business, it's, there was an incident once with raw chicken that had been left behind in a refrigerator then that I had to. So it was just one of those things where I thought, don't even think about it, just do it. And then, like Silkwood shower on the hand. Remember that movie, the Meryl Streep? I don't know if you remember that movie, but like Silkwood shower, on the arms and the hands. And Adam is a germaphobe too. So I kind of feel like, for a little bit afterwards, he was like, why did you do that? And I just thought, I couldn't in good conscience, there was
Leave
two
it
young
that
kids
way.
buying this house. I didn't want that to be the
Right.
first thing they walked into when they, purchased their first home. So
And good for you, and thank you for sharing, because a lot of times people don't understand it. We would love to think that everything we do is all glamorous and hey, we get to show all these fancy $1 million homes and this and that, and it's all pretty and fun and games, but there's a lot of times behind the scenes that a lot of things that people just don't see
oh yeah.
that occur. So I appreciate you sharing that. That is one we haven't heard before, so that is definitely awkward.
When we finally
I don't
meet
know.
in person, Nestor, I'll shake your hand with my left hand.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see me reach for hand sanitizer right after, don't take it personal. So Amy, if they want to find you or connect with you, what's the best way to find you or connect with you?
Instagram, A-Team Sells FL. I'm there pretty often, especially in the stories. That's my happy place. YouTube, A-Team Sells FL. I'm on Facebook, but Instagram is definitely where I hang out the most.
Okay. Instagram's your jam. I see you on there all the time. Yes, and you're definitely loving the stories. Definitely seeing that. So we will drop the links below in this, and if anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us or reach out to Amy and drop a comment in there. And would love to hear your feedback and your thoughts. And if you guys are enjoying this, please, we would love if you liked and subscribed. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.